to throw away. So it created a secondary quilt, and so we just put it on the back. Use the rest of the fabric. This one we used to play hide and seek. And this one reminded me of the white picket fences and hiding behind them as we would play hide and seek. This again is similar to the pickup sticks in that you've got your, you know, where we had the muslin, I'm using the white as your background, but twisting the blocks in a different formation so that you get your slatted look.
That's pretty.
This one in the book looks fantastic. It was filmed with a pair of red tennis shoes. And when the book or the manuscript arrived, I got my copy of it to prove. I called Karen at Martingale, and I had busted out crying. And she said, "What did we do wrong? What did we do wrong?" I said, "You did everything right." Because when I was a kid, I had to wear corrective shoes until I was going into high school. From, I think I was 4 years old until the 9th grade, I wore those ugly saddle Oxfords. And all I wanted when I was going in 1st grade was a pair of red Keds tennis shoes. And my mom bought them for me. And when I got home that afternoon, my first day at school, the bus driver had to take me off the bus. He carried me and put me in Mom's arms because my feet were so hurt so bad, I couldn't walk. So those red Keds tennis shoes sat on my dresser for the rest, you know, forever. And if you notice now, most of you will ever see me, I don't care how cold it gets, I'm in flip-flops because that's the only shoes that fit. Corrective shoes did not work. This one is called pedal pushers. For those people who like blendy quilts, this is for them. Again, it takes your 2.5-inch strip, you're cutting them in half, combining them in a different way, but with a blended fabric line, you don't see that block. Everything just kind of meshes together. And it's called pedal pushers because we used to love riding our bikes. I don't know how many of you had bikes when you were growing up and that was your right arm, you couldn't let go of it. And my dad took us out front one day and got a deck of cards for Mom and used the clothespins and put them on your spokes. And we all thought we had motorcycles, you know, with the sound. I decided I had to make one quilt in the book that actually showed the block that's on the ruler. And this one's called Penny Candy.
You named it after me. We'll pretend.
Penny Candy, we pretend. My mom used to dress my two brothers and I up. Every summer we had one day and she'd take us downtown in Baton Rouge. And we would go to Cress and McCrory's and, you know, all these stores. And Daddy would line us up and we each got $1 to go shopping for the day. And we'd blow it all on penny candy. So this is actually Monica Solario Snow. This was her Christmas line of fabric. But when you cut it up into these triangle shapes, it totally loses the Christmas line and just gives you this really cute pastel look. Yeah, it does.
By the way, Kathy is going to be at the Checker Open House in August. So if you want to hear more stories about snakes and gators and everything, we'll be there.
Yeah, because I got a story for everything, let me tell you. This one was a blast. This one's called merry-go-round. I'm one of those people that doesn't have good ears, you know, and so I get vertigo, and I couldn't get on a merry-go-round either, because I'd get really sick. And when I was doing this one, it just kept swimming in my head like a merry-go-round. But this one's great. Again, it's same block, used in a different manner. And your customers are going to love the fact that they can get so many different looks out of one ruler.
All these quilts are in this one book?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Isn't that awesome?
She has more.
And yeah.
Yes. And she has 3 patterns out too that use them.
Yes.
That uses the ruler.
And this, all this is out of one book, right?
Yes.
Yes. There's 16 patterns.
16 patterns in the book. This is called Cupsicles. like I said, we took vacation every summer. And my two brothers and I never had enough vacation money to take, buy the souvenirs that we wanted. So my little brother and I got together, and we had a ballpark across the street where we were able to go, and while all the parents were watching their kids play ball, he and I made frozen Kool-Aid in Dixie cups, and we sold cupsicles for $0.05 a piece. Went like hotcakes, boy. We always had pocketfuls of money for vacation. And this reminded me of the colors in the cupsicles. When I was 13, my mom let two of my girlfriends and I go downtown to the Paramount Theater and see Romeo and Juliet. It was just the fabric that inspired this quilt, honestly. This same block is used in one of the other quilts. It's the 1.5, 1.5, and 2.5 inch strip, all coming together. This was in Daydream Believer. But does this look like Daydream Believer? Not at all. Fabrics that you use change the look of the quilt. Same simple shape, different look. Oh yeah. Okay, I couldn't dance. I couldn't do girly stuff, but let me tell you what, boys sports, I was great at. This was box hockey. You took these wheelbarrow sticks and a croquet ball, and you beat the heck out of each other trying to get that ball through the other end of the box. And that's what this reminded me of, because you came together trying to beat these things down at the end. Again, this is the same shape, using your muslin strips, but combining them in a different pattern. And this one's one of my favorite ones of all. On one of our vacations, Dad took my hand and we went out into the Gulf of Mexico. And when we stood out there, this one's called Family Vacation. When we stood out there, a school of dolphins passed by, and he and I reached out and we were able to touch the dolphins, and they brushed past our legs. So I call this one Family Vacation because the colors reminded me of the Gulf of Mexico. This is taking the 4 1.5 inch strips, cutting them in half, putting them back together in a different variation than what I had before.
Yeah, but a cheater's version almost.
Yeah. Cheater's version, and in this one, you do not see the loss of the seam allowance.
Just see how you see the squares and things? Yeah. Do you want to show, because they'll be able to get this.
Okay. This is the storyboard that shows you how the strips go together. This is your 2.5 inch, 1.5, 1.5.
Higher.
2.5, 1.5, 1.5, and it can make the block look like this, or 4 1.5 inch strips that makes a block that looks like this, or your 2 2.5 that make the block look like this. But again, combine your fabrics in different ways and look what you get. And that's, like we said, that's only 16 different quilts out of the, now there's 39 that I have total.
I just saw Rob's eyes go, yes. Yeah. Now this will be available, Creative Grids will make this available to you in a poster, so if you want to demo her book and the ruler, etc., to sell it, you'll be able to get this and the posters. July 1st? Oh yeah,
Yeah, what we're doing, we announced it last night at Fast Shop Dinner Plus today. Checker realizes your time is so very valuable. And doing classes and stuff like that, if we can make it easier for you to do a class, all the better for you, all the better for us. So around July 1st, middle of June, stuff like that, we're going to have a whole section on the website where the Creative Grid ruler classes. That's where we're starting. You will receive, or you'll be able to download to your website or showing your class. It'll be the YouTube video on how to use this ruler, this specific ruler. There'll also be in Word the class on how to conduct these classes, and also for the storyboards, like the red and yellow fabrics right there, we're going to have that available. You can download that and print that off yourself, or if you call us, we will send that poster to you at no charge. And so Checker's doing it to make your life better and easier. And don't forget to tell them about your new ruler that's coming out. I'm not going to steal your thunder.
This girl that said she was never a ruler user. I've designed a ruler with checkers, Creative Grids ruler, and I am a fan of the pre-cuts, have been for a long time. But at the same time, my poor fat quarters have been sitting in my closet because I wanted to use these pre-cuts. Well, I kind of felt like they were little orphans, you know, they've been sitting in the background not doing anything. Why not take all these fat quarters out of the closet and let them, you know, become beautiful quilts? So I did this ruler that will take all of your fat quarters, and you'll be able to subcut your customers will take those fat quarters and subcut them into 1.5 inch strips, 2.5 inch strips, 1.5 inch by whatever, you know, the 2.5 inch by 5s, you got your 5 inch charm squares, your 6 inch, your half square triangles, the 2.5 inch squares, everything is in there. But not only can you take your fat quarters and cut them into these subcuts, you can take your pre-cut bundles that you have, and for example, if you've got a roll of 2.5 inch strips, take that and subcut it into the sub parts that you need to fit all of the patterns that are out there using pre-cuts. So it's a double-edged type ruler, and it's really cool. I love it. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. And we will have a self-published book that's coming out around September 1st that has a wazoo of different projects in it.
More than 16.
Yeah, there's a wazoo. I do have somebody that's been thinking of taking them out, so there's a bunch.
The open house and you're in the north, we don't
Yeah.
have wazoos.
We have lots of wazoos, and a lot of those in the book you'll see use my new fabric line with Red Rooster. This is called Emma Grace, and so I just want to show y'all that in case you want to stop by Red Rooster and take a look at the new fabric line. That's Emma Grace.
And Checkers distributes for them too, so you can buy everything, every single thing she showed you at the Checker.
At the checker booth, yes. The fat quarter cutter. Cut up.
When will it be available?
Fat quarter cut up.
When's it available?
Should,
Open house.
at open house, August 21st.
21 and 22.
Yes, 21st and 22nd. It'll
We're
be
going to
there.
premiere that at the open house.
Fat quarter cut up.
Oh, cut top.
So instead of the book being ready by September 1st, now it's going to be ready by August 20th, 21st, 22nd.
The ruler will be ready sometime July, August.
And it is already in our system, so you can pre-order it. It is CGRY1. Is that? Yes. CGRY1.
For Kathy. The Y goes for Kathy. So, if anybody has any questions also, and you ever need any help with any of these quilts, just give me a call. You can find me.
Thank you.
Thank you.